Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket. I'm a little bit late, I apologise for that, but we had a few things. I was just celebrating about how well the Australian Olympic team are doing. No, that's not true. The reality is that I have Naresh here as well. How are you, Naresh?
I'm good, Norman. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone.
Just going to put that volume on. So we have another game today. In fact, Sri Lanka have been able to defeat India, and you can't blame anyone for this result. Let's be honest. I mean, you can't blame the Indian team because they've been put together, you would argue, last minute, and they did as best. Well, they didn't play that well. They didn't play that badly either. I think Sri Lanka, they got two particularly good players. Dhananjaya is certainly an excellent player. He's worthy of his position in the side. And I think the captain's pretty good as well. But really, it was India's shuffled team, albeit a very good team. What's your thoughts, Naresh?
Yeah, it's tough, to get a complete new combination to the playing 11, but yeah, as if you heard Rahul Dravid also say they are the best in white ball who are here and all fit into the 11, they deserve their positions. But yeah, as you said, right, I think 10, 15 more runs, I think India would have got it. Yeah, we need to still give credit to India to push Sri Lanka so deep up to the last over, in the chase. So from that perspective, I think India did well. But yeah, the batters could have done better. If you see only 7 fours, out of which 5 were hit by Shikhar Dhawan yesterday. So yeah, in a T20, that's too less. 7 fours and only 1 6, which Padikkal got. So compared to Sri Lanka, they got much more boundaries and a couple of sixes. So yeah, something which India should reconsider today, how they approach after power play definitely slows down. I don't think anything different would be there, though the pitch is not the same, but it would behave the same. So we'll have to see how the approach is, and obviously the toss would become important now. I lost Norman.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm Norman.
There was a bit of a problem there, I think. Let me just sort this out. We've got a couple of other guests joining us as well. Naresh, let's see who they are. We've got Nilakshi's here as well. Hello, Nilakshi.
Hello.
Hi, Nilakshi.
Hi, Naresh.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Norman, very clearly.
Okay, good. All right, Nilakshi's joined us as well. I think Aparna will do so as well. So, okay, so go on, Naresh. Continue to talk.
Yeah, so but yeah, the Sri Lankan bowlers were very impressive. They use all the options they had. A lot of spinners. I think the spinners are getting more and more difficult to play. The Sri Lankan spinners. So that's going to be the test. Yeah, we are going to play 5 batsmen again today. We don't have more option for India, but we'll have to see who replaces Saini if Saini is not fit today. They would probably pick the bowler who would be the best to bat. We'll have to see who's the one who's the pick. But yeah, a little disappointing that Saini was not used at all. Probably in the middle he could have been. But yeah, the first inning influenced Shikhar Dhawan to play his spinners up front as much as possible, bowl them out, because that was the best chance for India to get the wickets. And as Siddharth is not here, he mentioned yesterday could be Kuldeep's fiver, and I think he was close to it. There were a couple of unfortunate decisions going against him. Otherwise, I think Kuldeep could have got the game for India yesterday.
I still don't quite know what's going on with Kuldeep. I still don't. He's clearly good enough to be at this level. And for some reason, they throw him in and out of the team. There's Sai Kishore as a player that maybe has been considered. Sumana Awasthi is saying.
Yeah, I think he bowls also. Probably I'll probably just check on his profile. Is he a bowler too? But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I think it's a learning for Shikhar Dhawan also. He played 6 bowlers, but did not use the sixth option at all. So
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got to give some. What's the word for it? You've got to give some, excuses for India because they have been stuffed around. The team was literally completely thrown together within hours. Now they'll be better for the run, and you would imagine they'll have a good chance of winning today. But it's more about playing to the best ability rather than winning today. I think that makes any sense. They need to. It's an important game. It's still a game for their country. It has the same credibility as anything else. So they can't not understand that they've got to be able to. Play that seriously. Now there were some comments here about Shikhar Dhawan retiring after this. Do you think was that the concern?
is it? I've not heard this. I've not heard this.
No, I didn't think so either. I think he's in line to be picked for the squad regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, Lakshi, how are you?
So yeah,
I'm good.
You'll speak because it's not so loud where you are. No, Lakshi, did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So you're all right now. It's good. Okay. So Noxie, what's your take on today? What are you frustrated as a supporter to see India losing when they have got the better side?
Yeah, look, I think Kuldeep bowled really well, but he was let down by the poor fielding. They dropped 2 catches. So poor fielding, I think it led them to lose that match. Otherwise, they could have easily won.
That's true. But I mean, I don't think India are panicking about the results, are they? They're not concerned. I mean, they want to win, clearly, but they wouldn't be having too many kittens about this, so to speak. I think they're aware of the fact that the team has been under a massive reshuffle and they were rocked by the loss of both the Pandya brothers and a number of other players. And, that's something which is beyond everybody's. It's being able to give people a chance. I think we'll see India account for themselves pretty well. I still think India will win today. I think they'll probably choose to bat second.
Second, yeah.
If they
I
win
think
the
the
toss.
team winning the toss both the teams would want to chase. Yeah.
I think that's where this game will be won because it's pretty hard to work out exactly where the two teams are at with their batting and bowling. So you're best batting second and having an ability to play the score down. Yeah, so I mean we've got a fair bit of time before any team sheets are out, but I mean, it's hard for me to really judge this game on any form at all. No one can talk about Sri Lanka playing well, India playing badly. No one can say that. It's irrelevant.
And see, the pitch didn't look like a T20 pitch.
No, I think the ground's been well and truly overused, perhaps. They played a number of grounds.
We saw 5 games at the beginning of the IPL on a pitch probably worse than this in Chepauk. So we need to get used to this because this is the similar kind of pitch we will get later on because there'll be 2 weeks, 3 weeks of IPL and then the World T20 around in the same grounds. So I think everyone is preparing for that. After the power play, you see the game slowing down and it's a little difficult to score. But we need to get used to this right until the World Cup. That's how the conditions would be. But Norman, coming to your point, I think both the teams in the end would be happy if the team wins the series because Sri Lanka needs to change their own luck winning the series irrespective of the opposition, and India would like to win just to prove that everyone who's been selected is a match winner. So in the end, both teams would really today is going to be a very interesting game in the end. How the Indian batters, now only 5 of them, face the spinners, because I think the Sri Lankan spinners kind of have restricted the Indian batting throughout this white ball series.
And that's the tactic that should be taken into the World Cup as well.
Yeah.
The UAE pitches will suit spinners, there's no doubt. That's why I keep saying that Pakistan and India will both have their chances of winning their way through their semi-finals, I think. And, you know, the teams that, like New Zealand, will suffer because they have not got the spinning depth, as you imagine.
And you see the teams using at least 1 or 2 overs of spin in the power play itself. You know, you go back a month, South Africa, West Indies did that in all the games. You know, it's very, very rare that West Indies is using spinners in the power play in a T20, but they are getting ready for those kind of situations and conditions. They did that against Australia, and the spinners are becoming the man of the series playing in West Indies. So it's going to be very interesting. We know spin is going to play a very important role in UAE.
Oh, it's beyond doubt that the West Indies are very much preparing for the T20. They don't really care about the ODI match they're playing against Australia. It's all about the T20 for them, and understandably so. Again, it's fashionably late here, Aparna.
I think it's a statement that I have to continue. You know, I don't want to surprise anyone by coming on time. That's how I should be known for, but I'm so sorry.
Good evening, Aparna.
Hi everyone. Hi Nilakshi. Hi Naresh. How are you?
Good.
Obviously, warm wishes and hi to Norman.
Thank you for that. So, cricket conversations with Aparna Sani is with Norman Koshnik here on Eyes on Cricket. I've been told today Eyes on Olympics. And yes, I have been posting a bit of my community page about that because we've won 8 gold medals already. And we've equaled our last two Olympics. We got 8 gold medals, so it's a very impressive start. And I'll tell you what, when you talk about sport, it's not necessarily people who Australia's got more ability than other countries. Most of the Australians that are winning medals at the moment, especially gold medals, are doing it through sheer hard work and determination. Enormous amounts of practice. They're swimming down to the tee to the last minute. They're preparing their race metre by metre. It's quite incredible. There was a breaststroker who was there. He was behind the top 2, but he came home at the very end because that was his plan. It's very impressive. And I must say, India are a country that have never done well in the Olympics. And it's about time they do because they should have the ability to do well. They have enough very good athletes. We're seeing that in cricket, aren't we? And in football and tennis as well. There's enough people, a lot of very tall people who can handle some of the more athletic events. I'm a bit shocked that India doesn't. They need to perhaps spend some money doing well in the Olympics. They're due, don't you think?
I think we still have time to get or score some medals. So let's not give up the hopes for this Olympics. And, you know, Australia is doing incredibly well, but they always have. I mean, they're good in swimming.
That's true.
There are a lot of sports that India doesn't participate yet. I mean, we don't have that level of athletes to represent in those sort of sports. So, yeah, well, I think on a funny note, I would say we're waiting for Olympics to have cricket. Which is
that would be amazing.
Possibly not very far by BCCI
pushing. The 2028, 2028 Olympics would see. It's just the format is not decided. Which format would be played in Olympics?
I heard
T10. India can play 5 teams in that and ensure gold, silver, bronze, all 3 are
Even
there.
they've been prepared for COVID since, especially what happened in Sri Lanka. That's been a lesson for them. I think even if this COVID lasts for another decade, India would still get a gold.
I actually, what you're saying, Naresh, is that you think by 2028 that it might be in the Commonwealth Games to start with, which is
I think next year Commonwealth has women T20, Birmingham.
Correct. Well, then it should also be for men eventually too. So that's exciting.
Eventually, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, for women, I'm really proud and happy about the fact that women cricket. It's being promoted on that level. And me and Norman and everyone who's been on this platform, including Raresh, and I think Nilakshi would agree. We need to promote as much Indian women cricket as we can.
Absolutely.
And the
I think it'll be
individuals who are
fantastic.
playing in the hundreds are doing very well. The individuals who are playing hundreds, they're really doing well.
Oh, it's an excellent format. Barami Irani says, Norman, you forgot about us. How did I forget about you? What do you mean? I haven't forgot about you at all. All the sports should be given equal importance. I agree.
Yeah, and I think BCCI's model is a kind of something which can be replicated in a lot of other associations. There is an attempt, undoubtedly, but yeah, there is you cannot match up the finance that the money that goes into cricket compared to any other sport. But there is an attempt being made at grassroots level. That we have a school level Olympic kind of a multi-sport event every year now since last 3 to 4 years to encourage various sports happening in the country. But yeah, it's taking time. It's a little frustrating, but like as Aparna said, in this Olympics also there is some opportunity to get some more medals. Except for the game against Australia, even hockey, India is having a very good chance. That's the only game India lost against Australia. Otherwise, they are number 2 in the group. They may definitely reach up to the semis and have a chance there. And hockey is supposed to be our national sport, but yeah, obviously cricket is dominating.
But that's where you've
Well, I think they should consider changing that very soon. But no, chuck the India.
That would happen once cricket gets Olympic status. Yeah, that can happen. Currently, not being part of Olympics, it is separately considered as being privately managed. So that's why it doesn't
Commercial
get the status.
purposes, I think I would say it's not just the sports. I think it's business. It's the
Yes,
added glimpse and glamour for IPL. I mean, the level of promotion that goes for cricket in India is enormous.
But yeah, Norman, because of IPL, we had other sports getting private funding in franchisee level competition in kabaddi, badminton, tennis. Now I hear even boxing is going to come into India as part of a franchisee competition. So there is effort being put in. And definitely when you put in an effort and you have yearly competition of stars from around the world come and play, like it's happening in football also, the standard of the sport, every individual sport will go up. The only difference of football is they have adapted the same EPL format, which goes long for 2 to 3 months. I don't think India is ready for it. It's too early for a long, because people lose that interest. You need a shorter version, a quick one, which creates more popularity. But the intent is there.
The reality is that India has already good shooters, good table tennis, good hockey, good boxing, jiu-jitsu, various wrestling formats. Obviously, hockey, I've mentioned hockey already. There's a lot of sports that they are already there or thereabouts. They're reaching top 10, 20 status. It's a matter of cracking a medal. And once you get a number of athletes getting 1 or 2 or 3 medals, those people become the pin-up people for the young teens who aspire to that. That's where you get your breakthrough. You need to have some players break through on medals. Now, look, I'm not against India bringing in a whole bunch of non-Indians into their squads, meaning Australia's done it as well. We've taken a lady called Tatiana Gorogravia, her name is. She was from Russia, who came in and then qualified and was our pole vaulter. There's nothing wrong with India getting a few stars and emigrating them into India and then allowing them to be the pin-up person for the rest of India. It might sound a strange thing to do, but I think all India needs is a handful of stars to break through and get even a bronze, and that will catapult a generation of people to play and to be a participant in the Olympics. And I mean that quite seriously. I'm a bit annoyed when I hear people say to me, oh, we've never done well. No, that's not the attitude they need to take. You have the firepower. You look at China, for example, similar population size. You would argue Chinese body structures are very poor for any athletic event. They're not very athletic people. Excuse me. So I would argue that's an issue there. But anyway, just my thoughts. Then people are saying T10 for the Olympics, T5. I don't really care what format it is, but it should be on the agenda. It's the second biggest sport in the world. So why isn't it on the agenda? They put skateboarding in, for God's sake, this time. And surfing. I mean, you know, they don't need to get ahead of cricket. Cricket needs to be found a way to get in there. Even if it's a 100 format, some format, doesn't matter. Can you imagine India winning the gold medal?
India has scope. I mean, I would say, as in the still there's hockey, as Naresh said. We've got hopes there. But yeah, definitely we have to participate in more sports. I mean, India doesn't participate in more sports when it comes to Olympics, and that is one drawback. We can't just have all our hopes for cricket, though definitely there's a medal there when cricket would be included. But I think the level of promotion that goes in cricket, if half of that level of attention or promotions or sponsorship goes in any other sports in India, we've got so much young talent. I mean, in a country of 1.3 billion people, how much talent you can hope for? I mean, Australia has got 25 million. That's the population of Delhi.
So exactly.
If they can
quickly, guys, I'll interrupt. India have elected to bat and will bat first once again. So
interesting.
Norman. Shikhar Dhawan has won the toss at tails, and he's elected to bat first once again. So India are actually continuing to bat first, which is interesting. I thought they would have put Sri Lanka in. And Sandeep Warrior is in place of Saini. What a great name, Sandeep. But yeah,
he got injured.
Barami Irani
no one to blame.
Said that well. You said that very well. I would like to. I mean, to me, I would never have thought China would be a powerhouse in the Olympics, but they've become one. India could easily follow the same suit, not overnight, but over a generation.
Well, Sri Lanka still have a lot to improve in cricket.
Sri Lanka, oh God.
Let's talk about that. So I'm trying to divert the topic. Let's talk about cricket.
Please. To me, Sri Lanka would be, if I don't want to be rude, but if Sri Lanka start to gloat about if they do win today and say, oh, isn't it wonderful how they won, they're going to have to be very careful because it'll be slammed. They've got to understand that if they don't win today, well, it is a bit of a slight against them. Some are arguing that Sri Lanka should be the winners today, but I think India are going to get up. What do you think, guys? Naresh, you start.
No, as I said, Norman, I think it would be a good win for both the teams. Sri Lanka need a boost to win a series. On the records, it will still be a series win for them. They are going into the World Cup for qualifying. They have to go through qualifiers. For India, what India has gone through in the last week, India would be really cherishing a win to, take this cup purely because to prove that all the players are match winners. Even if the standby players play, they're coming with a lot of T20 experience. Now, Sandeep Warrior is a very interesting choice, because it's a man-to-man replacement to Saini for being a right-arm medium pace bowler, and he's represented KKR in the IPL. But yeah, I think Sanju Samson and Nitish Rana, they have lots to prove today as batsmen. We need to see their full potential. They might have not represented India much, but they have played a lot of T20 cricket to be match winners. But yeah, both the teams would cherish a win today purely of what they have gone through.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot to play for, put it that way. Certainly. Yeah. Nilakshi, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Even if this is a new team for India, they do have the potential to win. Just like I said, the last match, yesterday's match, India lose because of the silly mistakes, like poor fielding, and otherwise they would have easily won that match. And I don't give credit to Sri Lanka because they are winning a team against, like, it's a D or C team. India was
Yeah, you're
so
right. But
definitely.
I think it's still an Indian team, though. We can't call it India BSC. It's still India. They're representing India. So we have to. I understand there are a lot of players out, but these players should be of a caliber to win this if they're good enough, and I think they are. There's a lot of talk about. I think Akansh Chandra has said that Padikal should open with Darwin this time. What do you guys? Before we go to Prana, what do you think? What do you think will happen today? Prana?
I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you repeat?
I just said, what do you think about today? Who will win and why?
I think India should come back and win because let's be honest. I mean, they were forced to play with a thin batting line yesterday, right? But they did give a tough competition to Sri Lanka. I mean, it wasn't a very easy win that Sri Lanka took, and they should be proud of. So these youngsters have actually put a tough game out there for Sri Lankans, and I'm very proud of being able to see that sort of performance because let's be honest, we were talking about it, we were having jokes on it, but that just shows the game that we saw yesterday is an evidence that Sri Lanka has a lot to improve, especially for the upcoming T20 World Cup. So they better watch out because if these youngsters who just got their first chance and they can put a game like that, I mean, it wasn't an easy win for Sri Lanka. So obviously today, I think tonight's game should be in India's side, and they should come back and take this series because all the hard work they've put in, starting from the first T20 before the COVID outbreak happened, including that and the yesterday match that what we saw, I think they are well-deserved team to take this T20 series in Sri Lanka.
So AP Gunn is asking you, basically you're happy with losing a partner, is that right?
I'm not happy with losing. I think they have put a very tough game out there for who Sri Lankans were calling, oh my God, they have sent us B grade team or whatever they were saying. And after the COVID outbreak, right, we had very less hopes that we might not be able to even give a good competition to Sri Lankan team who is their proper Sri Lankan team. Like that's their main players. Seeing that, I think India has done incredibly well, and we should take that honor and recognize their efforts. So definitely, that gives us hope that today's match, there is still a hope that India might be able to back this T20 series.
I actually think that India will be, the Indian players, will be rather, how can I put this, embarrassed in a way about their loss yesterday, and they won't stand for that, and they'll come back very strong today. That makes the game all the more interesting. I think
they must have some sort of confidence the way they have performed. So they
the
must
very
give
fact
them
that
confidence.
they won the toss and the batting first tells you that they don't seem to need to change anything.
Yeah, and putting a confidence back into the bowlers, I think the bowlers took it deep yesterday to give India a chance. If you see up to the 15th over, it was still India's way. It is that couple of overs here and there, and as Nilakshi said, I think Bhuvaneshwar Kumar dropping the catch of Kuldeep that gave away the game. But yeah, the sixth bowler, which was never used yesterday, how Shikhar Dhawan learns and uses a sixth bowler. That would be very interesting. Now he's taken Warrior as a medium pacer, so he's playing three medium pacers and three spinners. But yeah, I think until the 15th over, it was still going India's way. Kuldeep, as I said, could have been a star yesterday. Unfortunately, few decisions went against him. One was a DRS which India didn't take, and the other was an umpire call. But yeah, India still start favorite today. But yeah, I think Shikhar Dhawan feels bowling has a better chance to win the game. That's why he's decided to bat first. But coming to that point of Padikkal, we have three left-handers out of the five batsmen. there would be some point where there will be two left-handers on the crease, which happened yesterday, and they got all the spinners in action. So, so where the particle bats, yeah.
Yeah, if not, for the couple of dropped catches and a missed review, as you said, Naresh, who knows? Even the Indian 11 could have registered a win yesterday. Yeah. So if those sort of mistakes are fixed, or they really put an effort, which they did yesterday as well, I think India is still on the favourite side of winning this series.
I think India are going to win well, to be honest. I think they've been thrown together very quickly. They got their act together. They lost the matches. Granted, Sri Lanka did well enough, but they're showing strength in batting again. I'm actually impressed with that, because I would have thought they would have bowled first. But anyway, interesting tactics. Now, there's a lot of people making. Vikram Gupta, who's been on the show, has actually said apparently that India has become poor at playing spin. That's an interesting point, because there's an element of truth to that, because I think there's been a lot of good medium to fast bowlers come through. They've been facing a lot more of that on flat pitches and not as many spinners as they would previously do. I think there's an evolution happening to Indian cricket. I think they're less and less spin au fait as they used to be. I think there is a distinct change in their batting. Well, I think he's got a good point.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yes, Norman, absolutely. And any Indian side, A team, B team, C team, all are currently struggling with against spin. A bit of a concern. It's either the mindset that the approach to the game is more aggressive as batters, or is it a technical related issue, but that needs to be addressed. We predominantly have been known as a side who plays spin very well. And the conditions we prepare at home are spin friendly. Even the England tour of India, though India won 3-1, we didn't play spin that well. With Joe Root getting a fiver, Bess was their leech. They did trouble Indian top order, and that's a concern. Our top order has not been able to play spin well.
Look, obviously the Rohit Sharmas, and there'll be a fair few players that will return to the squad that will bolster that, you would think. Yeah, but it is an interesting observation, and there is a bit of fact about that. Pitches are changing in India as well, becoming a lot flatter, more medium pace friendly rather than spin friendly, and that's probably given less opportunity to test their wares against spin bowling. True. So, I mean, we know that, okay, so as far as we're concerned, Aparna, you think India will win? Naresh, you think India will win too?
Yeah.
Yes,
definitely, I think.
Yeah, I think we have a right to say that India will win, but Sri Lanka hopefully will make a match of it. It seems typical of all the matches we've seen so far that Sri Lanka do put in an okay effort against the lesser side, but India come home at the end. So let's just hope it's a good game. I want to see India bat well. 130 odd, 140 odd is not enough. They need to show they can score 200 or close to it.
No, I think, Norman, 150, 160 to be realistic would be a defending total, because the conditions are going to play very similar. The first T20 we got 160 and we defended it easily. The second one we fell short by 15-20 runs. So to be realistic, a 150, 160 should be, and that's where I feel Shikhar Dhawan has the confidence that the bowlers can win the game if you put up that total.
Yeah, I don't know. Are the Indian players not aggressive enough early on in the innings? What do you think the solution is to this?
Well, yesterday they did struggle. As I said, only 7 fours and 1 6. It's very unlike Indian T20 batting lineup. There's 2 less boundaries in a T20 game. India struggled to score. It's a big ground. They need to start converting ones into twos if they're not been able to get the boundaries. They need to keep the run rate above 7, even if there are no boundaries. So those are those minor things. And as I said, yes, Padikkal and Gaikwad are new to the side. Samson and Nitish Rana have played a lot of cricket. So Shikhar Dhawan, Samson, Nitish Rana, these three need to take the entire responsibility of pushing the scoreboard and the youngsters around them.
I don't think India they've got no excuses today. They need to have learnt from this day and they bounce back. I think that'll be the motivation, particularly for the likes of Shikhar Dhawan as captain. Yes, Samson is somebody who doesn't hit many sixes, does he? He's more of a steadier batter, and that's where it's time he takes a chance. I don't mind if India go out swinging. I like to see them do that. I like to see them be even more aggressive. That's what I would like to see. And Samson's capable of hitting sixes. I've seen him bat when he scores. He hits beautiful sixes. He's just a little bit more conservative with his wicket. He's got to chance himself a bit more, I think. And he's got the team to play it against. He should be able to take Sri Lanka's bowling apart a little bit better than perhaps they have so far. Aparna.
I think even his Samson's wicket keeping seems quite poor yesterday.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He was a bit rusty. A number of extras. There were 12 extras. Baramarani what were the 12 extras again? What were they? Were they buys or were they leg buys? What were they? No balls, wide? I can't remember what the breakdown was. That would be interesting to see what led to the 12 extras, because 12 extras is effectively 2 overs, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it was cautious. The mindset, if you feel inadequate, that when you get in the field, that did play, because they were really looked like they had the capability, they wanted to do it, but they just couldn't put it out there. So yeah, the batting didn't play any luck, but we knew they were getting on the field with thin batting lineup. So now they feel more comfortable. I think they have put a good show. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think, that tonight they can convert that just missed win into a proper win and wrap the series up. I think that they weren't relaxed, or the mentality that what was going through their heads, nervousness, which was clearly shown on the field. Because the last boundary, I think, was, by Shikhar Dhawan, or I'm not sure exactly, but there were many boundaries. Looked like they were playing a test series sort of a game, but which is not their usual game.
No,
so it took but the pitch is slow, so we have to consider that as well. But tonight, I think they will be able to, what was missing, that little bit of element, and should be able to convert tonight's match into a win, and that would be a huge win for India.
I think so. I think that would be it'd be good to walk away with the prize, so to speak. Now, Akansh Chandra said that spin on Indian tracks is with spontaneous linear speed. I'm not sure. I think it's the same speed. Whereas Sri Lanka serve spins and grips and then rises and is slower. That is true. Sri Lankan wickets do tend to sit up a lot more. So that's an adjustment the batter has to make. And that it's a matter of your timing supporting that. That's a fair point. Indian spin tracks are usually faster spin, aren't they, Naresh? So they tend to be a little bit faster. Sri Lanka is...
That's because little roughness is there. There's less grass or dead grass on the pitch. Like in Sri Lanka, you will see some dead grass. So you perceive that the ball would straighten up, but it actually turns. So that's a bit of a concern. And especially Hasaranga, I think, Hasaranga has troubled Indian batters, throughout this white ball ODIs and the T20s. He's standing out as a very good spinner, and but yeah, little different than the way the ball spins on Indian wickets. But 20 overs, I don't think the ball would do much. It is the pitch which gets a bit slower that Indian batters are struggling with, because, like as you said, Sanju Samson, he's such a brilliant timer of the shot. When the ball is little slow coming onto him, you can see that little bit of a frustration that he's not been able to time his shots. Same thing with Surya Kumar, but Surya Kumar, he's much more all-round batter, so he knows he's playing around to get those singles if he cannot get the big ones. So yeah, Sanju Samson will have to adjust. It's if the wicket is slower than his expectation.
I do like the fact that India won the toss. That we should be celebrating that. That's a big deal because I think it's been a few years
It's
since they won
a
the
rare
toss.
thing. Yeah, it's a rare thing. Yeah.
Seriously, it's been, I don't know, it's probably, I can't, maybe it was before I was born they won the toss. I can't remember. It's that far ago. Long ago. Look, it's we mustn't forget, and I've got one eye on the next week because it's already July, well, it's into July 30th now here in Australia, the next day.
4th August, yeah.
And a matter of only 4 or 5 days away, the first test starts against England. Now, that's when we get quite serious. That's when we will see some serious business, albeit the T20 World Cup's coming up in the IPL. We've got 5 test matches against England. We're going to have a lot of English involvement in the show. Obviously, Chris Vernon will be back again, and there'll be a lot of the Adam Holyoke and Monty and all these blokes will be back with us. Simon Willis, they're all very keenly watching the England-India series. It'll be very dramatic. We'll see. I think that'll be extremely interesting. We should have one eye on that as well. Once this game starts between India and Sri Lanka today, we're going to start turning our mind to that series, which will be next week. So viewers, make sure you tune in. We'll have some pre-match discussions about where things are at. Obviously, the likes of Rishabh Pant is back in action. He's out of his bubble, so to speak. The other players that were there as well, I think there's a few others that have come out. They're pretty much ready to go. Prithvi Shaw and Sky Kumar will be late. They'll be leaving probably in a
They'll be late,
well.
yeah. Really late, yeah.
And I don't think they were ever in the first test mindset anyway. Agarwal and Sharma will open, so I don't think there'll be any need to have Prithvi Shaw or Sky Kumar there, but they'll be there, which is good for them. It's going to be very interesting. I think how quickly we turn from one to the other. Incredible. We've got some comments here about Australia playing Bangladesh. That's going to be frustrating, I think, in a lot of ways because Australia's, again, not fully stocked full of their players. They've got issues with injuries yet again. It's going to be interesting how that turns out. Whether Bangladesh take it seriously as well. There's word that they're not.
It's funny, Norman. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. You don't seem to promote or support Australian team a lot. What's the reason behind that?
Me? I'm disappointed with Australia. I'm supporting Australia in the Olympics big time. I'm posting every 5 seconds about that. I'm very proud of Australia. Their cricket team.
In cricket, they aren't that bad. Come on.
Well, we'll wait and see. You wait and see how well they play in the World Cup.
See, if you encourage, they might actually pick up the game.
I don't think it's me that's going to make that decision. I think if I was a selector, I might be able to wake them up, but they need to listen to Greg Chappell more. He's someone they should be listening to, or even Ian Chappell. They need to get some old heads in that squad in terms of advice. Justin Langer is a pretty good coach, but I think he's gotten a bit too close to the team, and he's too close to the team at the moment. I think he needs to step away. Anyway, their team is still all over the joint. They haven't played much cricket, really, other than a bit of IPL and that West Indies series. I'm frustrated with Australia. I support them. I like to see them win, but I'm very frustrated. They haven't learned any lessons.
But Norman, who will be the option if Aaron Finch is ruled out for World Cup? He's injured now, so who will lead the team?
Great question. It's a huge loss. Huge loss because he's a very good captain.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Carey seems to be the one they're considering. Will Steve Smith come back? I don't think so. So it may well be an Alex Carey if he's included in the squad. That won't be Pat Cummins. A lot of people say Maxwell should be the one considered. Maxwell's got the ability to be captain, but unlike Shane Warne, was off the radar somewhat. We've lost both Parner and actually, but the reality is that there's so many issues with Australian cricket. If I'm really honest with you, going back to just the grade level, the first class level, the so-called Sheffield Shield. There's lots of issues around that. The overplay of BBL at a very mediocre standard, which hasn't helped anyone's format. The chasing of money of players going to the IPL in preference to other comps. There's a lot of issues out there. It really is quite disturbing. partner's back. What, did you disappear? What, everything right?
I just got cut out. I don't know.
Okay.
I thought you just got me out because I asked you that question.
No. It'll take a harder question than that. No. But it is, Australia is certainly it's going to take, I'm afraid, 5 to maybe even 10 years for Australia to regain any sort of level of superiority that they had perhaps 5 or 10 years ago. We need a generational change. We need a new captain. We need a new breed of captain. I keep saying Jason Sanger, but I think he or Curtis Patterson's another one. But we're talking, okay, back to the T20 format. They look to be putting Alex Carey as they've given him a go against the West Indies. It looks as though that will be the answer. I'm not sure what's happening against Bangladesh. We'll see whether Alex Carey continues to captain. If he does, then you'd have to argue that he will be the captain. Steve Smith is even saying that he won't play at all. He'll hold back for the Ashes. I think he's covering the fact that he may not have been selected, to be honest.
I think if he doesn't, it's a good. I think he's for the longer format now. The days of Steve Smith, an all format player, is not there. I think T20 he struggles. We have seen in the last couple of years, even in the IPL and the series against India. But you get him in the ODIs and Test cricket, he's a very different batter. So if he takes that decision, probably it will work in his favor. And with the long Ashes coming immediately after the World Cup, I think
that's true.
Yeah.
Josh Inglis there's been a lot of talk about Josh Inglis of late as being the next Australian keeper, by the way, going over the top of Carey, Josh Philippe, and a few other players. And Josh Inglis is touted by a lot of well-known, old heads like your Lillies and your Masters as being the next wicketkeeper. So that could be interesting if he gets in. Usman Khawaja, my God, they need him back. He's just the sort of player that we need to get back into the squad in all formats too, by the way. And he could even and Khawaja could even could even captain. Australia has won 5 World Cups, so look, it is a fair point that they need to take a break.
Exactly,
Could you reply to my question? Where is your
that low level team? They've performed in the past and they've come good. So Norman, keep your spirits up and keep supporting Australia. And they'll definitely come back.
Well, you
Might
can see
be the
I
T20 World Cup, but not this one. This is for India.
Yeah, you're hosting the next one. Yeah.
I think that it's India's time. They have no excuse if they don't win this. They're going to be playing either England or the West Indies.
They never win in their home ground. We saw what happened in Gaba. We took their 35 years of record. So they have lesser hopes for that one. I'll say. But this one, definitely India. So
I think you're right.
You've got a few more years, Norman. Just keep hyping up. Keep the support going. And one day. In one day.
You sound borderline sarcastic there. I'm just like, no.
Norman, 2015, I traveled to Melbourne anticipating an India final, but unfortunately, Australia beat India in semi-finals. Can't change travel plans last minute, So I watched the New Zealand Australia finals.
Well, I was there that day too. I was up in the box near where Tim Bilkin was. It was quite good in the media box. Now, there's a question here, which I do think. Mitch Mark remains a mystery for me. Is he a good batting all-rounder, good bowler, and not consistent anyway? The reality is that Mitch Marsh had a little glimmer of hope in this West Indies series, but towards the end he failed again. I'm afraid he's not consistent enough. Even though he's got the ability, he's not consistent enough. He's not going to be chanced at the top level.
So the first ball is ready to be bowled, Norman.
Okay, so Baram Irani says Josh Inglis is he an Australian? Of course he is. Just because his name got the English, don't be silly. I'm not going off. I'm going to stay a bit longer today. I've got a lot to talk about. So we're all set to begin.
Before they put the first ball out, I think India is going to win. And if Sri Lanka does win, I think it would be only their second win in the last 10 series. So very happy for them. But definitely India will back this one up. For sure. What's your call? Naresh, final go. You still would like to stick with India?
Yeah, I would stick with India.
All right. So
We'll never move. Yeah.
Yes, 2 Indians in all Indian support. What about Norman?
Well, Shikhar Dhawan's opening the batting with Ruturaj Gaikwad again, and Jasmantha Chameera. He's not a bad opening bowlers on. In my opinion, Dhawan and Gaikwad need to, because Chameera's quite fast. They've got an opportunity early on to score quick runs, and they should really be on the attack. Dhawan needs to be right. I'm going to make this an aggressive start. He needs to get 30 or 40 in a couple of overs.
Yeah, it's a power play, you
Kishore
know.
is a good ad. I mean, he might make the batting lineup a little bit stronger. So Navdeep Saini's injury might prove a little bit luck in that way. So it's not all about Shikhar Dhawan. I mean, things can turn any time.
That's why I think Shikhar Dhawan decided to bat first, because he wanted to take the game by the scruff of the net and bat well himself.
And the bowling is strong, so they would like to defend.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason.
I think he's taken the point that the small errors of yesterday, he wants to correct it right away today. I think that's the confidence he's taking, and he's giving that confidence to the bowlers that they can bowl out Sri Lanka or defend this total in the second inning.
Well, Gaikwad's just hit a 4 off the second ball.
Yeah.
It's pretty good start. Are you watching it? Like, can you see it live, Naresh?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, me too.
Well, come on, you help us. You do a bit of narration. I want you to commentate, and we'll come in. We'll join in. Tell us what's going on.
Well, there was a misfield, this one, which went for a 4 towards covers. Yeah, the next one again towards backward point, you know, so a single to Gaikwad. So all 3 balls outside the off stump. India is getting tested outside the off stump. Little bit of swing Chameera is trying to get, but he doesn't seem like the one which he got against Prithvi Shaw in the first game. So yeah, but he's testing Gaikwad outside the off stump. But Norman, I was waiting. A non-cricketing news has just prompted is Sydney is seeking military help as post-record daily rise in COVID.
That's correct. That's a military. In certain pockets of Sydney, there's a bit of an outbreak, but it's such an overreaction. 200.
It started from Norman's location, Bondi.
Yeah, well, it did, but it wasn't me.
Okay. It wasn't sorry, Norman. First ball, Shikhar Dhawan faced edge to the slip. He's out. First ball, he faced.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Was it an aggressive shot?
No, he got an outer edge. It wasn't aggressive, but it was. He hung the bat out. I think the umpire still wants to consult if it was directly in the hand or it bounced in front. But Shikhar Dhawan is walking.
That's not a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just hung his
coming
bat
back
out.
to the COVID news, Norman is to blame, but yeah, that's so true. Police officers and army troops has been deployed, so we are in lockdown for another 4 weeks, I think.
Disaster. Absolute embarrassment, because we are now behind most countries. That we are locked down in this military action for 200 cases a day.
239.
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Norman, 25 million only. I mean, there's 5 million just in New South Wales, which is 239 is a lot of number if you really see that.
No, not really. It's not a big number. It's not a big number. We need to get, the priority should be, the army should be delivering the vaccinations to everybody and getting us all vaccinated. That's what the army would be useful to do.
You still haven't told me the secret. How do I get the vaccination? I'm under 40.
Well,
now
I'll send you I'll send you the link. You can come with me to the airport.
That sounds perfect. Let's do that. Is it the Pfizer one or the Astra?
That's only Pfizer, one that's worth taking. Exactly. So Shikhar Dhawan out, caught to silver at first slip. Chameera for a duck. First ball. That's pretty awful. But I hope I'm guessing that Samson's going into bat now, isn't he?
It's Padikkal, left-handed. I think they're keeping the left-right combination. So Padikkal has come number 3.
He needs to be more aggressive too.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit of a setback for India. Shikhar Dhawan out the first ball, because he can play a good anchor role, with the others around him scoring. So a rare miss from him.
Every question you can't question whether I'm answering it. Kohli's been too good in tests. Yes, he has. Is that the question you're talking about? I don't. We have seen Rohit winning unwinnable finals in the IPL. Could we see Rohit as a captain in the future? And 11 format especially. Yes, we certainly can. No reason why we can't. It should happen before too long. I'm sure if Kohli doesn't continue any form of success, he might move on. But we mustn't forget how successful Kohli has been. You just can't drop somebody, especially at the test format. 61 tests with a 59% winning average.
Oh, yes.
It's phenomenal. Yeah. So Kohli's going to be captaining the T20 World Cup. There's no doubt. It's not changing.
No change this year happening anything in Indian side. And as I said yesterday, even the T20 World Cup side will be more or less which played against England at home. There could be one or two surprises coming out purely because it will be a jumbo squad that would travel. But I think more or less it's all because Shreyas Iyer has to come back once fit. Natarajan has to come back once fit. These guys have not represented India now for a while.
Well, one wicket down, but clearly, India can't do much about strengthening their batting because that was clearly their weak link yesterday as well. And, all batting options are available. The rest are in isolation. So let's not comment on the batting. That's why the decision was made to defend to make this match into a win. And I'm going to sign off, Norman, on that note because I think it's superstitiously not nice if we've lost one wicket already.
What, to keep talking while the game's on?
No, I think that we've lost one wicket. It's not doing any good in terms of superstitions. And Indians are very big at that.
No, that's true. But they did win the toss, though. That's kind of a positive.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Well,
look, the Gaikwad and Padikkal are two players that should be able to. They're T20 specialists, aren't they? They're both very good at that format. You'd have to argue that they've got the opportunity to shine today. And who's coming in next?
A wonderful cover drive by Padikkal. There was so much of Yuvraj Singh in that shot for a boundary. Yeah.
He's a great player, what I've seen of him.
Yeah, good timer of the ball, yeah.
But they've got to be aggressive.
And left-handers always look elegant, when they really time the ball.
They certainly are. You're right.
Yeah.
Except for Chris Vernon, of course. He's a bit cumbersome. No, we won't say it. He's probably listening. Apart, you can't see it. You haven't got Sony, have you?
I've got Kayo.
Huh?
Kayo Sports? Is that what you asked?
Sky Sports. No,
Sony? What's Sony?
Sony's the Indian outlet that's taking
but I'm watching on Kayo Sports, which is like a subscription-based sports.
Oh, you can see it on Sky Sports.
You can see on Kayo Sports, I think.
I've got Foxtel. I can't see it.
Yeah, I've got Foxtel too, but you can watch on Kayo too. But Foxtel is something that you have to get through paid. It's like Tata Sky in India. So
you're saying Kayo Sports has got?
I think they should be able to watch on Kayo. Yeah, Kayo Sports. If you're based in Australia.
I haven't got that. I've got Foxtel. It's supposed to be encompassing of all. Let's just have a look here. I'll just see whether I've got it on. You know what I have got? I've got the 100 women's live. I've got that live. I've got that playing at the moment. And I've got Great Britain race. I've got Wellington versus Perth. There's no sign of any Sri Lanka India series, but we are getting the 100, which I'm a bit shocked at. I didn't think we'd be getting the 100. So Sri Lanka Cricket YouTube channel. I've got that as well.
You can definitely watch on Kayo Sports. I'm very sure.
Yeah, but I haven't got it, so I've got Foxtel. It's supposed to be good enough for me.
Yeah, no, I've got Foxtel too, but same.
Hang on, come on, Naresh, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, just 1-4 off that over to Padikkal. Couple of good shots, but straight to the fielder. So 2 overs have ended. They started with both steamers, Sri Lanka.
It's amazing on the Sri Lankan.
Well,
Their viewership for the win against the second tee, they got 1.8 million watching them. A lot of Sri Lankans in there, and Indians, I guess, as well.
yeah.
Come
Norman,
on,
I'll have
Naresh,
to take a leave.
you're going to leave?
Norman. Yeah, I'll have to take a leave.
All right, Naresh, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming along.
Yeah.
A partner and I
Thank
will
you.
Yeah,
take
see,
off.
superstition. Let's not hang on together. This is going to be a
Oh, you want to go
backfiring
too? Do you want to both
situation.
go? I'm going to talk a bit longer. I've got a bit more to talk about. I want to talk about some other aspects of the Test series, but we can talk about the Test series part. Thank you, Naresh. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Norman. Bye,
Wonderful to have on.
Bye.
See each
Yeah,
other.
Thank
thank
you,
you.
thank you,
Bye.
Naresh. Lovely
Thank you.
to have
Bye.
you tonight.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks, Norman.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now, partner, we shouldn't go this quickly. There's a fair bit more to talk about. From your perspective, what you've seen of cricket over the last 6 to 12 months, do you think there's any issues with Virat Kohli being captain?
Not at all. I think he's doing good in his captaincy, but I think it just puts too much pressure on his performance. That has been one issue that was brought up even with India Tour of Australia. And if that has been a talk for all other captains. I remember even back then when Saurav Ganguly was playing and he was chosen the captain and his performance went down. So it was like, oh my God, he can't put up the pressure. So if you really want to look at that way, I think maybe, Mahendra Singh Dhoni was the only one, I think, that did all right with the pressure of captaincy and being able to perform. So for that one, I think that Virat Kohli is actually someone we need for our batting lineup. So maybe should give it to Shikhar Dhawan. I don't know, for T20 World Cup. Because he's a very aggressive player. But when it comes to the pressure, I think we can't see him playing aggressively. Obviously, because you're thinking not just playing freely an aggressive game that you used to, rather than you are under the pressure of making a lot of decisions, being on that position.
That's a good point. The fact is that if you're mentally stressed or misguided, you could easily not be in the same free mindset. Very good point. A free mindset is very, very important to cricket at any level. And like the Adam Gilchrist of the world, when he went into bat, he thought nothing else but bat, and he batted beautifully. Do you realise one World Cup, Adam Gilchrist put a squash ball in his glove? He felt that, which is very unusual, very uncomfortable, but he put a squash ball there. He felt good, and that did it for him. Then he suddenly took off. Okay. People say Rohit's the best captain. I don't agree. He's a very good captain, yes, but I don't think he's necessarily the best captain. The discussion on COVID, Australia's handled it better than India. Australia did handle COVID better than India up until about a month or so ago, when we realised we hadn't had everybody vaccinated. Now we're handling it very badly.
We can't compare the two countries.
We could have 2,000 a day apart. It doesn't matter if you're vaccinated.
Yeah, but we can't compare the two countries. I mean, we are talking about Delhi, where I'm from. It's a 40-kilometer diameter, 40 kilometers, right? And it's got 25 million people, which is the population of
4 kilometers in diameter. It's got 25
40.
million. Wow.
Yes. So 25 million people. And you're talking about social distancing and how many numbers are coming up in Delhi. I think we really need to get the statistic right, use our brain, get the common sense working. In India is a very small country with a huge number of people, whereas Australia has got 5 million based in New South Wales, where there's an outbreak and the army is being deployed and all the news that we've been hearing. And the lockdown has extended for another 4 weeks till August 28th. So coming back to India and Australia, you can't compare the two countries.
No, you're right. But the fact that we've got the army being deployed, What the hell? That's insulting. That's disgusting. It's not that serious. It
I
isn't
think it's
that
political
serious.
move.
They need to concentrate on get the army to administer the vaccinations. Get all the army staff to be the ones jabbing the people. That would be smart. Have
Yes.
little stations where the army man that and get people through there. I would agree with that. That's where get an army seaplane to go to some other country and buy this damn vaccine and get it back here within 48 hours.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Norman. But let's say what happens. I think they probably would be knocking on the doors. You know, have you seen that? There's jokes around. They've got the gun for Bankstown and all that west suburbs. They go out of their home just to put the rubbish, and there's that. I think probably for that reason, the army's been deployed.
Well, it's Cumberland, Parramatta, Blacktown, Liverpool, and there's two or three others that are now included. There's quite a few out there actually, but did they think about that for our area? No, they didn't think about my area. They didn't put military out there.
Probably the military would be deployed for areas like ours. I mean, you're around the other corner of the bridge, so should. I think, Norman, go and put your bins out tonight. You won't be able to do that freely from tomorrow if the army is deployed.
Well, I mean, if the army are around your area, you'll be out there putting out the bins saying hello to the guys. I'm sure you're rather partial to the
I've already put my one out, so I should be right for a few days. I'll assess the situation before I go out.
Tomorrow, you know what we should do? We should do a street talk tomorrow. We should do a COVID street talk. You want to do that?
Yeah, well, I would not commit on the national television because we are not supposed to do that. We might get fined. It's massive fines.
I've already done. I don't think if it's done for the sake of getting No, I think media are allowed to go out there and do things, and we're media effectively. So why not?
Yeah, we can't work from home, but I thought you were using compassionate reasons. A friend in need, a friend indeed.
Well, you want a hat. That's what you want, don't you? I know. I understand. That's pretty compassionate of me, for sure.
Oh,
all right. We've got.
I need to get my banners out too, so we can exchange.
Exactly. You should have. I'm gonna actually. Let's get your logo. Let's take it to the place Embroidered Me, which is where I got my hats done, and get some hats. Get a shirt and hat done for you. Do you want to do it there?
I think we should get the banners for every time we do our online thing. I mean,
well, do you want to go? We can go to Embroidered Me tomorrow and get your labeling done. Can you send me the images? Can you send me? Sorry.
We'll talk off camera. I don't want to be held accountable for breaking.
We're not doing anything wrong. Don't be silly. Did you see my report today with Jamasina Hopewadi? Did you see that today?
No, sorry, I must understand.
I have done a quarantine with the Hopewadi family. Will Hopewadi plays
yes.
Will Hopewadi plays for Canterbury Bankstown, your team.
Wow.
And his wife and the 4 children I had on. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
That was lovely. She was a lovely
Have
person.
you seen my one?
Your earrings.
You like my earrings?
Get closer. Get much closer. Wow. Is that another one? Is that another version? Hang on. Let me just get it.
This is from the same.
But you didn't
company.
Show me again. Get closer. Okay, there we go.
This from the same company, Mary's, Mariz. So all the viewers out there, there's a special code that I can give you for discounts, and I would like you to explore that and just go and have a look in their website. They've got beautiful range of jewelry, so as this one, and make your day special in these tough times. And it's all in support for small businesses who are struggling during these COVID times.
Well, can you put the link in the comments section?
Now.
No, you can't. You can do it in the live chat, but the comments you do after the video's finished.
Oh yeah, okay.
So Partico's been run out, I hear. This is a bit of a disaster here. This is not a good start from India at all. No, in fact, Partico's been run out by the keeper full wicket, 2 for 23. Oh my God, this is a bit messy. This is not good. India's batting lineup is not that deep. They lose a couple more wickets. They're already down to their so-called tail. This is not a good start.
Man.
India, again, we're not going to take this too seriously, but it's not looking very good.
I think the responsibility completely lies on the shoulders of the youngsters now. It's definitely a pressure situation. But, the pressure is a privilege, as per
Absolutely.
great tennis legend Djokovic. So expression conditions like this, the real strength of mind is tested. And looking forward to turn around anytime soon, because that's what they did in Gaba. And
Exactly.
uncertain situations. So
exactly. Doesn't
we
mean it's
might be
idea.
getting close to a win.
You never know.
Optimism.
Now, Shaya Marju's saying the women are hitting some big sixes at Lords in the 100 right now. I'm watching that. It's quite interesting. What was the logic behind batting first when you know your batting is so weak? I agree.
Because they can defend. Bowling is actually the strongest in this situation, where they are, because of the uncertain situation they've been thrown at them. So
Yep.
they would like to defend due to their batting is not the strongest at the moment, but their bowling is strong, so they would like to defend to convert this into a win. I think that is a smart move.
Yeah, it's hard to really say, because I think they would have probably been better off batting second, to be honest with you. Sorry, they should have, but batting second after seeing what target Sri Lanka can put together, and that's my thought. But I can see your point, certainly. So Alpana, it's an underpass score. They're going to be very hard to. They're going to be hard to. Well, it's still a bit early. You're right. We're going to be careful there. So when you venture out now to do your shopping, where do you go? Do you go to a Woolworths near you? Is that where you're going?
Only 10 kilometers.
How?
Are you talking about the road? Only 10 kilometers of my suburb, all that nearby shopping center. Don't try to dog me in.
No, I'm not trying to get. No one's going to. You can't get reported off a YouTube
No, I'm
channel
just
called
joking. I'm
Eyes on
just
Cricket.
making a humor out of it. No.
I know. But the reality is, so do you want to get vaccinated? Do you want? I'll help you get your vaccination done.
I've actually booked myself in, so I should be getting it in the first week of August, which is not
Where?
very fast.
Your local medical?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm.
And that'll be Pfizer?
No, in these tough times, my message is don't care about Pfizer or Astra. Vaccine is vaccine. If people wouldn't have got vaccination for TB, which we do in India, or polio, people would be still struggling with TB and polio. So there was no choice given at that time back in the day. So this is just to create chaos and confusion.
That's true. So you're getting AstraZeneca?
Yes,
Okay.
more likely. Yeah, I'm
That's
not
all right.
worried about it.
My sister stays in Liverpool, or Brahma. That's the worst area. Is that far from you
No,
guys?
that's
It's
a
about
COVID.
30 kilometres. About 30 kilometres.
Ooh.
So they're
Liverpool
not a good
is-
area at the moment as far as the COVID battle is concerned, to be honest.
They're not even allowed. Well, what's the situation in Liverpool? I think they're not even allowed, apart from frontline workers, to go on even out for.
That's true. You're not even allowed to go in the area. That's right.
Mm.
Now, Hardik Pandya performance, he still hasn't been at his best. He still hasn't been fully fit. His bowling's still under par. His batting is also, it's a bit, I compare Hardik Pandya to Kuldeep Yadav. They both haven't been given a good enough chance to prove themselves. They're both capable. Stick with them. That's my thoughts. I wouldn't let go of them.
Oh, he didn't bowl Hardik Pandya when.
No, I don't know what's going on there. I really
Indian
don't.
of Australia.
I don't know
That was
whether
very
it's because he's not fully fit or what.
I
Still
think
don't
so.
know.
I think the fitness has been an issue.
It has, but it doesn't excuse the fact that if he's in the team and he's playing, that he shouldn't be expected to play well. That's all. And we'll wait and see. All right, opponent. You're happy to leave if you want to.
All right. Well,
Give your finish.
I'll do my superstitious gram, and for India to win this third T20 match and wrap up the series into a win. I'll go and pray. Norman, you pray as well. But thank you, Norman, for having me on your show. It's always a pleasure to be a host and co-host of Norman Kotanag, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kotanag, which is, again, you can see this on my platform. It's a collaboration with Cricket Conversation with Aparna Seni. So until next time, fingers crossed, we'll see.
Well, we've got the Test
With a
series
bit of
next
good news.
week. Got the Test series, the 5-test series, England versus India. Huge. Kohli, Rohit Sharma, everyone back on deck, ready to go.
We'll definitely see you then before that, but I'll post something on my community page. So guys, please go and subscribe. All Norman's fans, followers, supporters, please show your little bit of support on my page as well.
And what is it
Cricket
called?
Conversation
At
with
Cricket
Aparna Seni.
Conversations with Aparna Seni. Can you make sure once this is finished that you put in the jurors' information, your information, put some comments of yours in there? The reality is that your channel, Cricket Conversation with Aparna Seni, is very good. We all should be watching that as well. You need to get some interviews. We might have to get you some interviews. Vikrant Gupta's one you should be doing. You should approach Vikrant now and have a chat to him and say...
I'll actually be releasing my interview with Steve Boggs, which would be sort of a part 2 version, what you've seen for Norman. So that's coming out soon. I think a little bit of entertainment for all the viewers out there in between the gap we've got between the matches. So, yeah.
How long? When do you reckon I'll have that ready?
I think tomorrow. But
Seriously?
afternoon.
Well, make sure you let me know, because I'll then push that all around. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So go subscribe my channel. There's an interview coming out for exclusive Steve Boggs and his new book, which was The Spirit of Cricket India. Lovely person, similar to Norman, similar to all viewers out there. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll do a little monologue. So you say goodbye. Now you can go. Make sure you push your Twitter and your Instagram handle and any LinkedIn as well. All right. So
sure.
Thanks. Make sure you're right.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Enjoy the match.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye. So
yeah, yet again, Aparna Seni is with us. She's a great person. She does look lovely. Banster boy, are you joined last minute? Where have you been, Banster boy? Have you been on? Haven't seen you on. Do you want to join, Banster boy? You want to join now? Come in and join. If you're not bored, come on. I want to talk about the England-India series a little bit. You want to come on, Banster boy? You've got the link. Have I not sent you the link? Let me have a look. I may have sent you the link. I thought I sent you the link. Okay, so Gurkharat Gills, do you want to come on, Bansible? Let me know. So you've been busy. So does that mean you want to come on now or not? Because if you do, I can copy it now and I can send it to you. I should have, right, Rodney, you asked her to come on too. I've just sent you the link. Richard, if Marcus, as in Munchie's there too, you guys can both come on if you want to. Maybe tomorrow. Busy time of the day for me. Okay, no worries. But Sky is playing in Australia's injured. Well, he's still recovering from that injury that he had. It was a major shoulder injury, not in the T20 World Cup. Well, it's too early to say he'll be in the T20 World Cup. They haven't actually selected that yet. but you would argue that there are some, you'd think that they're all in the mix, and the IPL will certainly sort a few out. There might be some late inclusions there as well. So, let's wait and see what happens there. All right. Ask me questions, guys, because we're opening up the board now with Sri Lanka playing India, as you know. Let's have a look at the story is there. What's the latest on that? Let me have a look there. 4 for 26 India are. Oh, my God. They're in a bit of a mess here. 4 for 27. Gaikwad was out for 14, LBW to Silva. Darwin out, first ball for a duck. Padikar was LBW, Mendes for 9. Sanju Samson, LBW, Silva for duck. They've not run out. Nitish Rayna and Bhuvi Kumar are in bat. They're 4 for 27. Oh, this is not looking good for India, I'll tell you. What's the time in Australia? It is currently 1 a.m. in the morning. 1 a.m. in the morning. So in India, it would be above. I'm not sure whether you are there, but it is, in fact, what time is it? There's 8:30 in India. Yeah, they certainly are running through the Indian batting order. They've gotten rid of the 4 top batters, and we're already into Bhuvi Kumar at the moment. And, gee, there's not much left after that, is there? This is going to be a pretty awful effort. It looks like India might be beaten quite comprehensively, which is hard to comprehend indeed, if you ask me. But, yeah, we've got to remember that the India-England series starts August the 4th, the first test match. That'll be a rather interesting situation indeed. You would have to think that that'll be a pretty big decision process for the India side with the likes of Sharma in that team. You would think that there's going to be a fair degree of potential. In this squad itself. So basketball, although it's a weekend Indian side, it's a positive for Sri Lanka. Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, Dalajaya is certainly looking good. There's some players coming through. They're still not up to the heights of playing at the best level. But yeah, they've been given a bit of exposure. That can't be a bad thing, I guess. You're right, Bannister boy. Yeah, Saddam was out, unfortunately, out for a duck, and with it went the chance of him getting selected in the squad for the T20 World Cup. All this also gone time, taking his boots up and get ready for the retirement. Bit harsh. Ankur Naik. I don't think it's that foregone. I don't think he's not done. Getting out first ball in the important match is not really what you would call a solution to a team's batting woes, is it at all? But yeah, it is a positive for Sri Lanka. I will say that. But if you look at the test series, August the 4th, let's have a look at that. 4 for 27, okay. So looking at the calendar, we're only looking at literally it's less than a week. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 5 days away from the first test match. That's quite the focus has to be moved towards that very soon, straight after this match, with obviously Prithvi Shaw and Sky Kumar Yadav going across to Sri Lanka directly. Sorry, from Sri Lanka to England directly. Although it'll be a little bit later. There'll be probably some week or thereabouts in quarantine in Sri Lanka, and then go straight to England, where they probably will not face a quarantine, if I'm not wrong. It's not such a weakened side to perform. That's bad, but back-to-back yesterday game was understandable. This is just not acceptable. So, Awashi, I'm a little bit in agreement with you. I think that I would have expected better for them today. They haven't. The opening, they're very light on the batting. Let's be honest. 4 down, they've got Bhuvi Kumar coming, even though he can bat. Still a bit of a slap in the face, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. I'm just looking at the situation here. We are really looking at a rather poor performance indeed, and the viewing sort of died off as well because of that. I think that the Indian batting lineup has certainly been exposed, haven't they? Being run out is unacceptable. Well, it wasn't. They're all pretty cheaply. I just don't know what the problem is here. I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I mean, this whole we've got Marley Esther here. Do you want to come on, Marley Esther? I'm live on TV at the moment. I'll just show her that I was still live. So she's asked me a few questions. So it looks like India will lose. Well, it doesn't look good, I must say. It's a rather disappointing. We can't take it. We can't take this seriously. We can't be looking at it too much into it. Yes, they are low batting on 5 for 24. Even with long batting, you're not going to pass 150. You're right. Correct. The reality is that India, it's just been a bit of a mess, hasn't it? We can't judge. Now, I'm getting comments from Malias saying now Sri Lanka is the best. No. So Malias is saying that because she's Sri Lankan, she's saying that Sri Lanka are now the best. Well, they're doing well in this match, yes. And we're getting asked, hoping to get past 140 at least to have something to bowl at. At the moment, it doesn't look like that possible. I'm having a text. Malias, are you watching? Because I'm texting you and saying I'm live. Are you? Okay. So I'm hoping to get past 140. Well, look, at this point in time, I'm hoping to combat the 20 overs. About the 20 overs, they might get a reasonable score. We just don't know how good a reasonable score is at the moment. It's quite awful all the way around, actually. So we really are looking at a rather poor total. Just concerned about this. So again, Raj Gaikwad has been given LBW to the bowling of De Silva for 14. Chikadale out first ball, caught a first slip by De Silva off bowling of Chamira. Devdutt Padakal, LBW to Mendes for 9. Sanju Sampson, LBW for a duck. He's certainly losing out his opportunities. Nitish Rayna's on at 6 and Kuma's on 5. 4 for 35 now off close to 8 overs. It's about 4 and over. That's awful. They're going to be struggling to get 100 the way they're going. And Wanindu Hazaranga's got 2 wickets. They're calling him De Silva, I'm imagining. And Ramesh Mendes has got the 1. And you have, of course, Dushmantha Chamira has taken another wicket. Awful. Yeah, I think that's partly right. Either the players are not mentally ready. They wouldn't be ready. They wouldn't have expected to play. Sanju Samson has said he's missing out an opportunity here. Samson should have taken a hold of this match and actually played very well and actually plays way into a potential touring team, but he hasn't. He's lost his opportunity. Very poor. Samson has not impressed at all. He had every opportunity to play well. He's more than capable of doing. He's done it in the IPL, and he hasn't done it here. Very, very ordinary effort, to be honest. Very disappointing. Just trying to see if there's any development which is in favour of India. Really need to see more effort from the bowlers. Chamira, Karunaratne, Mendes, Hazaranga, Dhananjaya, and Shanaka, Dustin, the captain. Not exactly the world's best bowlers in the world. They're not by any stretch of imagination. They've got Kuldeep Yadav and Chahar with Sunlit Warrior in his first ever match, Sakurai, and they've got literally those next 5 players are all extremely inexperienced in the batting department, certainly in the bowling department, also very disappointing. Only one person's got a double figure, so Gaikwad got 14, and the rest have got single-digit figures, and it's just ordinary. They're really struggling. But they should now at least attempt to play at the 20 overs. That would be the most important thing. And if they then get it, well, they're not going to get more than 120. If everything goes perfectly, they won't get more than 120. They can't afford to lose another wicket to get that 120. That's how bad it is. It's quite awful indeed. It's very, very awful. Ordinary performance. Ordinary indeed. The ones that, I mean, Darwin was certainly disappointing as captain, but Sampson, Padikkal have not performed. It's very, very distressing to see what happens in that situation. With Bhuvi Kumar playing, well, he can play, he can bat. He's been proven he can bat, but he's a long way from being the most relied upon player of the team. So they've got some real struggles here. I'll tell you right now. Marley Hester saying hi. Hello, Marley Hester saying hello. Hello there. It's good to see you. Marley Hester was meant to be joining us. She's gloating because the team has just won, or winning, I should say. They haven't won yet. So that's a good point. Marley Hester's just joined us. Should get all the Sri Lankans to watch this, shouldn't we? Because that would be good for the viewers. Certainly, the way that Sri Lanka are playing, they deserve the position they're in. Mind you, it's not the best Indian side, but Sri Lanka's had to win. Still have to play the game, still have to win. So Dhananjay has been a great player. Dasun Shanaka is certainly playing well too. Chanika Karunaratne, I don't know much about him, but he seems to be doing okay. Sundeep Warrior was a new umpires. Kumar Dharmasena, who I know very well. And again, Ranjan Madagali is the match referee. So at this point in time, India look very, 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 very much in trouble. They're close to almost 9 overs old, and their score is 4 and over, which is going to see 80 as a total. I don't mind Padikkal and Rajaraj not performing in today's game. Yes, they were mostly on Darwin and Sanju to get the runs. Yes, I agree totally. Suman Awathi. It is Darwin's and Sanju's responsibility as being the more senior, more capable players and experience, certainly at their various levels, that should be in this situation for sure. I would agree totally with that. So it's very, very disappointing indeed. I'm just looking at the way that the game is flowing. There's not a lot to be said regarding, let's have a look here. We could see Sri Lanka at least be able to do better in their qualifiers when they do go through the qualification period just before the World Cup. They need to win through that, so does Bangladesh, and it's going to be hard for them because Ireland and the like are not going to be pushovers by any means, that's for sure. Very disappointing indeed. Any questions, guys? Marley has to ask a question about Sri Lanka, how good they are, you think? Ask. Good vibes. Enjoy the match and see you next time. Good vibes. Good vibe, I'm guessing, is a little icon, isn't it? Hello, partner. Very, very important to have a good side. I'm just looking at the score now. They've lost a 5th wicket. Nitish Rayna's out for 6, caught and bowled Shanaka, so they're 5 for 36 after 9 overs. They're going to be struggling to reach the 15th over stage the way they're going, and you would argue they could be all out, and they could be all out for a score less than three figures. It could be a 60, 70, not 80 score, which Sri Lanka should romp in. That would be quite embarrassing. That's not what you want to see by any means. Yeah, the umpiring has been a bit ordinary. I mean, Kumar Dharmasena is extremely experienced. There's no excuses for him. He's an excellent umpire, and I rate him very highly. It's probably the best Sri Lanka's had in terms of umpire. Ranjan Madagali is also up there, but he's clearly not umpiring. He's a match referee these days. So, there's a lot to be said about that. Yeah, it's a fair point, Suman Awashi. Let's look at the score here. 5 wickets down. This is awful. Very ordinary indeed. Wouldn't you agree? Umpiring in general is a bit difficult when you have only umpires from your local country involved. Not that they're going to be biased. They're never going to be biased, but not always the best. I mean, in Sri Lanka's case, there's no reason why they shouldn't be called the best, because Damascena's been around. He played the '96 World Cup. Very experienced player that he is. He knows his way around a cricket field and certainly knows how to umpire. I'm not sure how many games he's umpired now, but he'd be well and truly up there. Well and truly up there. We'd like to see more people watching this. So surely this is a series that needs to be watched, even though it's not the best. So Sri Lanka have got India now 5-3-37 after what is now very close to 10 overs. Kuldeep Yadav isn't back with Kumar. So they're down to the bowlers. They've got 4 bowlers left. They're down to the bowlers. Sri Lanka won its first international test victory against India. Credit their umpiring. Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. I don't know where you got that from. So India have scoring on a run rate of just on 3.86. Awful. You can't say it was the pitch, can you? Five for 39 off 10 overs. Okay. So passes, fingers crossed, go India. What is not possible is what we want to do. Team India win. It's fair credit, Aparna, but at 5 for 39 for 10 overs, oh boy, even if they double that score, that's 78 runs. They will not last 10 overs with the last batters they've got. The way the pitch is showing, I'd say they're in deep, deep trouble. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. All right, guys, we might give another 5 minutes and then we'll see what happens if there's any more wickets. But I think India are in deep trouble at 5 for 39. Not looking good at all. I heard from a renowned journalist yesterday that he said that he was not seeing such bad umpiring. No, that's hard. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that umpiring has anything to do with it. Very disappointing to see that these guys playing such shots and that they're trying to release it with someone who was technically sound with the bat. The wall not accepted at all. So, yeah, I'm sure that Dravid is very disappointed. You're right. That'll be where the disappointment starts quite heavily. He won't be happy with what's going on at all. Five for 40. That's a fast bowler's paradise, you would think, by those figures. But Bhuvi Kumar could well be the best batter in the team on the day. Well, he's on 9. He's not. He's hopefully going to reach double figures, and he's only going to go past Gaikwad on 14 to be the best player batting wise. And that's an awful situation to be in. That you have could be Bhuvi's benefit if he can come out and score 30 or 40 in these last few overs and get a fair score. Well, that's something to be pleasant proud of. All right, so India are into their 11th over, and they're 5 for 40. Awful. Really quite awful. Tamika Karuna ran above 1 over and he got 7 runs off. He's got awful figures, but the rest have got very miserly figures. And this Hazaranga certainly seems to be impressing with his bowling. Indeed. All right, 5 for 41 after 11. I think we've just about seen enough of this. Not looking good. I'd hate to keep dragging this out because India will maybe only get worse, not better in their performances here. But as I said earlier, please view, like, and subscribe to the Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochner. We've got next week, August the 4th, we've got the first test in the 5-test series between England and India. We've also got my Twitter handle and my Instagram there at Norman Koch. So Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochner. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification button, hit the membership button, and we'll get a lot more out of this. this is a bad test. I hope they've got their 3-figure mark. You think at 5 for 41 they've got no hope of getting 3 figures. Let's be honest. They can't shut under it. It's not looking good. It all depends on how they bat now, but they're into the 11th over. That's pretty ordinary. Very ordinary indeed. So DeSantis finishes over 42 after. Well, Kumar's gone in double figures at least. 42 after 11 overs. Very ordinary. Very ordinary indeed. You'd have to be very disappointed with that if you were involved. So yeah, we might just move on, guys. I think that so you've heard me describe everything. So please view, like, and share everything. Make sure that if you do think that we've got any questions you'd like to ask, please ask them quickly now. Don't take this defeat, if that's what India's facing here, too hard. They're not the best of teams. Sri Lanka have done admirably well for their limited resources. You have to give them some credit there. Yeah, you can't really talk in terms of Sri Lanka playing well. They have played well, but they're playing well against a side that's probably not worthy of them playing. Let's be honest. It's a rather underplay. You can't throw a complete side together in a few days and expect them to win. But India has certainly been strong enough to do so previously. So, all right, guys. Any other questions before I go? Because we don't forget, we've got India versus England starting next week. I think it's next Wednesday or Thursday. What day is it? I'll just confirm the day for us. The day is, in fact, the 4th of August is, in fact, a Wednesday. So England time, it's a Wednesday, which will be somewhat later in the day. So it is now effectively Friday. Well, it's still Thursday in India, but it's Friday here in Australia. So by next Wednesday, we'll have a test series done. And that's not much time between them. Obviously, the Sky, Kumar, Yadav, and of course Prithvi Shaw will have to join a bit later. They've got a week where they're basically having to quarantine. Is going to be held in Sri Lanka, then they'll go to England, and I won't have much of a quarantine there. But they're not going to be in the first test. I can't imagine Prithvi Shaw or Sky Yadav being in the first test. Again, the first test squad will be something like Rohit Sharma with Agarwal, probably will open now that Shubman Gill's already home. Pujara will be first drop, Kohli second, Rahane. Then we'll move into probably, well, Vihari might going to go, but I think it'll be more likely to be punts then, followed by one or two of the spinners, Jadeja and Ashwin, one of the two, and then a string of the bowlers, and you'll have obviously Ishant Sharma, Sharmi, perhaps Siraj, and Bumrah there as well. That's like a Pandya obviously not there. That's August the 4th. So 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. We'll see that occur. So we'll actually have my 2 weeks' time, I'll be getting my next vaccine shot, which I'm happy about. So at the moment, Sri Lanka, or India, sorry, are 5 for 43 after 12 overs. Kumar's on 11. He could well be the top score for the side. Still not as bad as 36 all out. That's true, just. If Shaw and Sky would be considered to play, it will be probably the third test. Yeah, that's true. I think, you're probably right. The first test, they won't be in. You won't be nearly in the third test. You're probably right. They'll give the first 2 tests to the players that are there. And they've also got Ezewaran as well as an opening bat choice ahead of Shaw. And so there's probably a few in front of him, to be honest. All right. Any other questions? 5 for 44 off the 12.1. Kumar on 12. He could well be top score, which is awful if he's top score and he's in the top 6 batters effectively. So yeah, it's a frustrating match to be watching, to be honest. I'm not impressed with it at all. 245. Yes. Again, 5 for 45 after 12.2. There's a slow snail's pace going on here for sure. There's not much going on in terms of batting, that's for sure. All right, guys, we might say goodbye then. So all the best, guys. Thanks for joining in. Stay tuned for Eyes on Cricket with Costa when the test starts from India and England next week. This is signing off from Eyes on Cricket. So please don't forget to subscribe and notify. If any win this match, somehow we'll with the best fixture in there. Again, probably not that big a deal. Probably not quite that big. All the best, guys, and I do appreciate your time. Every time I talk, people seem to join. Which one? Yeah, I mean, at 5 for 46, 13 overs, this is a real disaster, isn't it? You'd have to say this is a disaster. All right. All the best. If India win this match, it'll be the best to go. Again, that won't be the case. Even if they do win, it won't be as dramatic as a game. But that could skittle Sri Lanka cheaply, and that would be a schmozzle of a game, not a good game. So, all right, don't forget to tune in, and I'll see you soon. So, all the best. Thank you very much. And one last check on the predicted score. Let's just see if we've got anywhere close to it. All right, all the best, guys. Thank you very much. See you soon.